going on?
Daniel B in the house. What's up, cousin?
Nothing, man. What's going on with you?
Yo, I'm here trying to be consistent. I have a show I'm trying to get off the ground here at 7:30. Ulrich had so much going on with his new school, and it was very difficult for him to take care of what he needed to take care of, and then be accommodating today. So I was basically, to my chagrin, I I was like, okay, I got to make this work. So I reached out to Daniel B, who has great things to say, who has his ear to the streets.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm parking really quickly. Forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my office over here.
I got you.
I have my water. No longer am I doing the energy drinks. No longer am I doing overdoing the beet juice and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's good. It's good to see you. The
Likewise.
small. I'm not able to see you too good yet, but it looks like you're looking for a space, right?
Yes, I'm actually just grabbing a glass and gonna make myself a drink, and I will be set in less than 2 minutes.
All right, take your time. Take your time. Take your time, because I just want to make sure that we are we have a nice steady flow. We're gonna have it's not gonna be a very long show today.
Okay.
Today's gonna be um a good show,
Always
but
a good show.
we're not gonna be spending. Bam! There I is. There I is.
I like those glasses there, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. These glasses remind me of the TV show V, Visitors.
Yes, I remember that. Wow.
Right. So, Visitor at glasses.
Gotcha.
What a truth drop that movie potentially was or is,
Yes.
with the
Even the
whole
remake was not bad.
reptilian.
Mm-hmm.
There was the whole reptilians eating, and the
Yeah.
way they. Yeah, it was. It was.
Ate
It
the
was a.
mouse
I
and
really enjoyed that
conversation.
as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a kid, I totally enjoyed that movie. Oh, that series.
Yeah, it was definitely a good show. It was definitely a good show.
Oh God, we have Muhammad F. Khalif. What's up, my N words? And then we have Sydney Wood. So far, um, today we're going to talk about just what's going on in the world. I'm gonna have to change the thumbnail and the title of the show to accommodate you coming on, but the people kind of will get it. It's a stock footage, stock photo, and I do have some stock photo of us that I can use. So now I'm going to my messages. Where's my messages? Okay, boom. I hope this is it. This should be it. Yeah, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Cam Newton.
Okay.
Cam Newton released a 5 minute clip to one of his podcasts. He has 1.47 million subscribers on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton is doing the damn thing. 2 weeks ago, he had a show that did 528,000 views, and he's been pretty consistent with his style and his point of view, which I don't understand. I don't really know his point of view 100%. I do know that He's very stylish. He's into the hats. He's into these. He provides very small little chairs,
Hmm.
so he looks like this huge giant in this chair. I'm sure it's all done on purpose.
Well,
And
he is a
he
big
switched,
guy though.
yeah,
He's very much a big guy, an amazing football player. Well, was an
right,
amazing football player. Well, still probably is. You know.
right. And he's on YouTube doing the damn thing, as people would say. Let me
Gotcha.
just
Hmm.
put up a light or two. Boom. How does that work? Okay, that looks
Am
good.
I visual now, or how do I
Yeah,
look on?
you look well, don't forget that sun is gonna go down behind you in the next 15-20 minutes. It's gonna be pitch black behind you.
Okay. Well, I got my
So if
light
you
on.
have a
Yeah, I have my light on.
all right, so if you turn to your left, what could you turn more all the way to your left? Turn your chair around? Oh no. Then turn all the way to your right. Wait, I'm
There we
sorry.
go. Hmm.
Hold on for 1 second. Hi. Hi, this is Mr. Elvis. The kids can't come to the phone. I'm utilizing this phone for the next couple of hours, okay? No worries, no worries. We're all good. Bye. That's Cody's girlfriend, the
Okay.
16-year-old. It's
Okay.
crazy. So I have my old Note 10, and it comes with, it has um that little pen that it comes with. It slides in and
Oh, the
out.
stylus. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I needed numbers off of this phone. So I wind up repairing it. The phone cost me $400 to repair. Mind you, the phone is only 200. It's only worth $200, but I
Wow.
had to pay 400 just because I needed that screen repaired.
Mhm.
So now this is our house phone. I don't even allow the kids to go out the house with it. But when I'm doing my show, I can go to the phone and I can pull up the things I want to pull up. So that's what's really great. But so let me just look at. I'm looking through his channel,
Mhm.
and
Do you mind if I interject real quick? I wanted to find out your opinion on how you feel about Tyrese.
we all go. Do you see? That was the main topic of the show that I was going to do earlier with Ulrich. So I decided to. We can talk about Tyrese after we talk about Cam.
I met him the other day.
Where at?
My friend was interviewing him about his movie. I got to see his movie 19, I believe it's 1989 or
Right.
1992, and it was actually a really good movie.
1992. Yeah,
1992.
1992.
So I got
Wait,
to,
wait, wait.
Mhm.
Were you at the premiere?
Well, I was at a screening.
Oh, the screening. The screening. Right, 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 right,
Yeah.
right.
So my
And how was that?
It was actually a really good movie. I was pleasantly surprised. I was going to be honest. I'm not a Tyrese fan, but it was a really good movie. You know,
Okay.
it was in the vein of Baby Boy and everything else because of the timeline, but it was during the Rodney King, moment and everything else. And it really, I'm gonna be honest, I never was a Tyrese fan. I thought this man was a crybaby.
Really?
I thought he was so corny. I always thought Tyrese was corny.
Well, the crybaby stuff is a recent thing.
Well,
So,
just always angry, always, like never. I don't know. Let me just tell you what I got from it after his my boy got to interview him, and I realized that I was looking at his corny moments. Like I feel like he's a gentleman who has corny moments,
right.
and it doesn't portray his whole being. And I'm like,
And what happened that changed that?
just listening to him answer questions and kind of just more realistic. Like he was just a real person in this. He said what he was doing through the times. He had a friend that he was, that was with him that was with him for years. He just became more real to me. Not this Hollywood black guy who was a Coca-Cola singing in the back of the thing. He became a real person. And I think that's what it is. He talked about his issues. One thing I never, I was a Tyrese fan with music, but you always feel like, these artists can't really sing in person, and he actually can. He sang.
Yeah, Tyrese could sing. I mean, Tyrese always had a problem where he sang from his throat. He never
Mhm,
sang from his diaphragm. But the
mhm.
boy could still sing,
Yeah,
regardless.
but
And I'm
he.
sure being
Mhm.
with Tank and Genuine, he's probably over that singing with the throat. That's what he used to pause. He used to
Yeah,
sing with his throat all the time. It was the way it was like he would push it from the vocal cords instead of the diaphragm.
yeah.
But
But I think,
yeah,
I think this new album, he has 20 songs, and he said, anybody over 35 won't get it. He said may not get it. Under 35 may not get it. And he's saying, it's a grown thing. His divorce is him really kind of expressing himself. And I think we need that because we're so used to seeing him with TG, three, and whatever that group is with him, Genuine and Tank. But to
right.
really get to know him, and I think this is his time, and I think I was really believe like
Let me
his
say
stuff
this
was.
to you.
Mhm.
Did you see the interview on the about him on the Breakfast Club?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do real quick, since we'll put Cam Newton to the back burner, we'll talk about the Tyrese thing. Let me play. Hopefully the people here have seen the Tyrese interview. But
Hmm.
let me I'm gonna play where I was recently on a podcast, and let me see. And I gave a little critique, and I would like to just quickly go through this. Teachers, da da da. I love that train. That train is like that's so cool. You have that train that goes by. Uh, yeah, this should be it. Hold on for. I'm gonna lower the volume for a sec.
Sure.
Let me check the comment. It's so weird using some other phone here.
Mhm.
I think I was in the 38th minute or 36th minute. Normally on my phone, I could go right to. I'm letting you speak. I see it possibly being him singled out. Okay, finish up. I'm gonna find your showrunner information. What do you want to? His weight goes up and down. This is weird. Now you said you did an entire show on this on your platform, yes? No, on there half hour, half hour. Okay, guys, yeah. On my okay, let me. I'm sorry. I feel so unorganized. Forgive me for this. This really sucks. Hold on for 1 second. Don't don't move. Hold on for 1 second. I'm back. What happened when I left?
It was just paused.
Okay. Were you able to talk?
I didn't even try to.
Okay. Okay. So I'm wondering if he took the show down. Star might have taken the show down. Oh no, here it goes. And I come in at the 35:28 mark. And let's hear my perspective really quickly. He needs security in the Bronx. Don't get it twisted. Oh, is that Big Elvis the chef? Tapping in. Big Elvis. Big Elvis. Big Elvis. Big Elvis, the Chef Rosenberg. I am here, sir. Thank you for having me. Yes, sir. This is Premium Black News. You have a platform now called Premium Black News. Where do you want to start?
Where do you want to start? This is definitely premium black news. And you know, I watched the last 15 minutes of Tyrese's interview. Okay. And let me tell you, I believe it. It was believable. Come on. It was emotional. It was. He almost was scolding people with those tears. Like, how dare you question these tears? Right. Anybody else can come and tear up, but when a man does it, there's a problem. And I really like that sentiment. Like, yo, I'm a human. I'm a person. Okay. I have tears. I have feelings. He talked about, you know, this. If I go through a divorce, you don't think I'm in pain. And then what touched me was when he said, when a woman goes through a miscarriage, okay, why you don't check on the man and see if he's okay? He did say that. Yeah. And I really appreciated that because, you know, my wife went through 2 miscarriages when we were trying to have a third. Wow. And it was very emotional. It was horrible. You know, it wasn't like, I don't know, I didn't cry or anything like that, but Tyrese cried for me today. So I appreciate that. And I'm almost feeling a little choked up just thinking about it. So he had an impact. It was really good. Hang on a second, Big Elvis, I know you're not as old as me, but do you know the classic? A few people have sang it, but Rosie Greer, when he put his foot on it, it's all right to cry. Do you know that classic? No, I'm not up to speed on that at all. When you get time, Rosie Greer, former NFL great, yeah, he did his rendition of it, and they've been, you know, white folks have been loving that for decades. Good. I'm sorry, I just said right. And you know, I'm the first person to say, you know, I hate to see a grown man cry. You know, it kind of bothers me. Right. I always say that, but Tyrese had a different effect on me with that. And I love when he talked about the earrings being fake and the wristwatch being fake. And he's like, all of this doesn't mean anything. And I like that. It's like, you know, we prioritize what success is by this visual. And he's like, yo, my heart and the places my mind is gone is what represents my success. So I bought hook, line, and sinker to the last 10 minutes of this show. Wait a minute. Elvis, you are the host of Premium Black News. You have to address this at some point. Do you think that Tyrese, well, he is an actor. He's been in films. Maybe Randy, who called in my first call, and maybe he, as young as he is, he's not even 30 years of age yet. Maybe he's right. Maybe Tyrese is acting. Maybe he's wearing fake jewelry because he doesn't want his 2 ex-wives to know he's got some real stones. Maybe he's shoveling us horse shit, and he's got us now talking about Beautiful Pain coming out August the 30th. Is he shoveling us horse shit, Tyrese? I say no. I say Tyrese is giving to us art. I like my artists emotional like this. I like my artists to wear that collar that he had on. I like my artists to be, you know, look the part, and he acted the part. You know, other people claim to be artists just because they painted their damn fingernails. You're not an artist. Did he cry in the classic Baby Boy? Did he cry in that film? Yeah, he cried when he was getting choked out by Vin Rames. Yeah. when Vin Rames had him in the chokehold and was rubbing that thing on him. Now, hold on. Now, I don't really remember a lot about the certain scenes from these black films like a lot of people do, but wasn't there a scene in Baby Boy when Ving Rhames walked into the kitchen butt-ass naked and was drinking the Kool-Aid out the pitcher? Yeah. Yeah. Nigga shit.
I think that's about it. I might go on for another 10 seconds, but I think the point has been made that I bought in hook, line, and sinker for that emotional rant that he went to at the Breakfast Club. I thought it was so genuine. And even if it was, oh yeah, let's get. There is another part. Wait, another 30 seconds.
That was a great movie, though. Okay, that was a great movie. So Tyrese can cry on cue. He can cry on cue. Oh, of course, but that's what, and so can Cuba Gooding Jr. You know, these guys, just because they're crying don't mean that they're acting. They're able to tap into those emotions, and their emotions are real. He's living out real experiences. So I'm riding with Tyrese on this. The fact that he's able to cry when he needs to cry, that's how I want my artists to be. I want him to start picking up a canvas. Let's see what you can do with some paint. You know, like, let's get that popping.
I want to see what you can do with some paint. All right, what say you?
I mean, I'm in agreement with you. I think, and I think that's what I felt during the interview was he's in touch with his side, and if you think about it, like when Star was talking about that song about crying, one of
Right.
my favorite songs is by the OJs, and it's called Cry Together.
Oh yeah, when I cried, she
Hmm.
cried, and we cried together.
Exactly.
Oh,
And it's just like that was when artists was truly in touch with, like, that's some real, like, last night me and my baby we cried together. You
right,
know, so it's he's in touch with that, and we also got to remember not only he's just an actor, he's an R&B singer,
right.
and and he's right.
Trying to sell a new album and a new movie.
Exactly, but also it's not in his benefit to be vulnerable. He's the only one
Really?
doing it.
It's not, or it is in his benefit.
It's not because one, men make fun of it.
Right,
Women don't understand it. I'm gonna say some women don't understand it.
right.
So
They don't
I don't believe.
understand it, or they don't respect it.
I think they follow suit of what men do. Is like, oh, come on, this dude's a sucker. He's a baby. He's doing all this crying, and I think women kind of sometimes fall for that. Like, oh, that's not a real man. He's, like, I don't think. In other words, I don't think, especially with the movies that he makes with these really macho, masculine, to be that person doesn't benefit him. If it
Hmm.
was, so I'm like, it appears like there's some truth to it. To these
It
feelings he
appears to
has.
be genuine.
Exactly. And very much authentic. And that's what I got from his, with my friend, let me just say, Chuck Creekman of All Hip Hop, interviewing him, was that this guy is really down to earth. And I think the media plays his corny parts. Even when
Right,
Charlemagne kind of said, "Oh, like we got one here. Every time he's on here, we're gonna get some. We're gonna get clickbait. We're gonna get this." And I think it's less about that, the more about, this man is able to express himself, and we should be. That's a true man that's able to do that, to show
right.
his feelings. As we know, some of the hardest people we know laugh all the time. you
Yeah,
know,
but do they cry?
I mean, I feel like if you're a man, you shouldn't be afraid to. I mean,
I can
that's
agree with that. I can
you know,
agree with that.
and I feel like Tyrese is, like when you, to me, my definition of a man is like able to just be secure in everything he does. And I feel like Tyrese is just like, I mean, because I'm gonna be honest, I got caught out there with the jewelry. I thought he was wearing some really nice jewelry. I was like, damn, the watch is nice, the earrings are glistening. I was sitting there about to go get me my ears pierced. And then he went on the thing and said, wait, this is $6, this is $5.
Mhm.
I'm like, and it also shows you when you have that image, you can wear anything.
Right.
That's another thing. It's like, we're so much into name brands, Rolexes, and everything else. And he's showing like, dude, if people believe it, you know, there's a lot of football players that say, hey, I wear fake Rolexes. We found out that on east side of Manhattan, a whole bunch of these women that got Birkin bags are not really Birkin bags.
They're not.
They're
They're not.
Turkish bags because they're getting it from Turkey. like,
Mm.
and it's just, kind of Tyrese is being authentic. I feel he's being authentic.
And let me tell you, a really good fake Birkin bag is going to cost you $500.
If not more than 1,500.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's if you don't know anybody. We're talking about Big Elvis the chef here. Forgive me. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
somebody else is gonna is gonna yeah,
And as we
seriously.
know from what we just seen, with what is it? One of the big companies, fashion houses, they were charging $2,000 for a bag that they were paying $58 for.
Who?
There was a raid in Italy on a fashion house's. It was Dior, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken. They found out they were using, labor, child labor or Asian labor, and in Italy, and they were paying the bag cost them to make and produce $58, but they were
right,
charging people $2,500 for these bags.
right,
And it's just, it's
right.
kind of saying, in other
Yeah,
words,
yeah, yeah. And that's the low end. The 2500 is the low end of it.
exactly, and it's just showing like everybody goes into these name brands and all the rest of this, and it's really worthless.
Absolutely.
You could get a Coach bag that's worth more, and they even saying Coach leather is probably one of the best out there. So Tyrese showing like, what is it's image when you believe something. It's like somebody sees me with a Rolex, you automatically gonna think it's real. It's how you portray. It's how you
No, it's true. It depends. It depends how you wear it. It depends who you
exactly,
are. Absolutely. The rumors of Baby having all his jewelry fake. It's all about what's believable on the person.
exactly. And I think, and
Like this right here.
mhm,
This is Tanzanite. And Tanzanite right now is going by. They sell it by the carat, the same way you sell a diamond.
mhm,
And Tanzanite is the only place Tanzania is the only place you can get Tanzanite. They actually are building a wall around its borders to stop people from trying to get into Tanzania to get the Tanzanite. And right now,
mhm,
they're going for the Tanzanite is going for I think seven hundred a
mhm,
carat. So it's really it's going up there in prices. There's no way of really like investing the way I would like to invest in it.
mhm,
As far as like if I could just get my hands on something that's not cut yet and just hold on to it, put it in a safe somewhere. Tanzanite is going to be really big in the next 20 years.
mhm. I
But
mean,
to say something to look at something and say like, yo, um I like the vulnerability of saying that it was fake.
yeah, and it's
And
and it's just
that
showing you
was like
somebody who
so
has.
refreshing.
Exactly. He has the finances to actually wear real stuff. A lot of guys do. It's like, we it's I know I'm not gonna say I know a stylist who styles a lot of people, and a lot of artists have fake bags. But the fakes
Right,
are so good that you could send it to, well, I'm gonna give a story. They sent it to Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton couldn't even authenticate it whether it was real or not because it was so good.
right,
They said we
right.
can't tell. Because
Yeah.
remember, it's
What's it
made in the
called?
same factories. Like these, they're not making exclusively just Louis Vuitton. These companies are making for millions of people, and they're the same Chinese factory that's down the block.
Yeah, because Louis Vuitton is only going to get 10,000 pieces. After that 10,000 pieces are made, somebody else got to use these machines and this electricity
Hmm.
and all these workers here. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It just depends on where you're going to have the stitching, where you're going to have the made, where the pattern is going to be made. And like I keep telling my son, you don't have to wear anybody else's label. We can pay for samples. We can
Hmm.
get samples made, and you can walk around and then you can actually sell what you have. And be like, no, no, no. If you like this, let me know. I can get it for you for X amount of dollars. But like I told my son, you don't have to wear these designers and be like a slave to somebody else's idea. And it's like Off White. Off White was one of these guys on TikTok worked for Off White. And one of the reasons why he left the business, didn't leave the business, left working for somebody and started to do his own thing was that he got an invoice and they were paying something like $650 a shirt that they sold for $400.
Hmm.
$6.50 for a shirt that they sold for $400. He was like, wow, like this is ridiculous. That's why Kanye West sold all that stuff he has now for $20. He's
Hmm.
just like, F you, F all of y'all. I'll show you how to do it. And anyway, let's digress from that. But Tyrese, you're riding with Tyrese on this one.
Yes, I am. I actually realized like he became more real to me. Watching his interview and even seeing the Breakfast Club, and just even when like his handlers was telling him his time was up, and he literally said, "Nah, like I got my people here. we're talking. I don't have anything really scheduled to do. So if you're just getting me just to get me to pull me away, no, I'm gonna sit here and finish these questions that this gentleman. And I thought that was one of the realest things. Again, because a lot of people, when their handlers are calling them, like, oh, we got something where else to go, like they just. And he said, no, I'm with my peoples. This is what we're doing, like, and I love that.
Yeah, but a lot of that could just be, like a way to grab a person like you who was against him
Hmm.
and be able to switch them, flip them to now being a supporter. Because you even use the word handlers. I'm sure he would hate to use the word handlers. We talking about. I know you're talking about publicists and
Hmm. Yeah.
management and all that kind of stuff. And then they had the whatever. Let's say they had the car scheduled for only 4 hours, 5 hours. So now we're gonna have to pay extra for this car if we don't get out of here right now. I
Hmm.
understand that, but it's also works in his favor to just act like these total strangers are just so kinfolk.
Hmm.
This is not only skin folk, this is kinfolk. And he's placating to the crowd.
Hmm.
And he was able to, yeah.
And I agree with you. I normally would feel that way, but what he is his thing afterwards, like one, it was the movie people, it was the PR people from Lionsgate, which is different than his music people and his other man. Everybody has individual people for different things.
Right.
And he
Wait, hold
actually.
up.
Mhm.
August Ford P. Dougie wants to know who the heck is this? And I think he wants to know if we're talking about Tyrese Gibson, sir. All right. And then be careful with when you're typing in the chat. We don't want to see any profanity like Roger. Roger put in an N, comes back and puts in an I, then a GGERS. Like be careful, Roger. These shows and people like me, we like to be monetized. And we don't want someone in there trolling, which we don't mind trolling, but let's stick to the topic, okay? We got to stick to the topic, y'all. You are appreciated, nevertheless, and we don't want to block you if we don't have to. But let's be on point with the. We don't own YouTube. Um, Somebody said that guy. That guy says Elvis. Today's generation wants a roughneck. Another talking about Tyrese Gibson and his crying.
Mhm.
Women don't want a man to be vulnerable. This is that guy. And then we have Kealin. Hello, hello to you as well. Johnny Herbar. You guys been Black Taboo Part 2. You guys seen Black Taboo Part 2? Remember when Leon got out of jail? I don't know about Black Taboo Part 2. Do you know about Black Taboo Part 2? That sounds a little pornography is.
Yeah, yeah. That's the only thing I can recall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hate that taboo porn. It's just so situational. It's like you're turned on by it, but deep down you're like, this is tacky. Like, ugh. But after 3 minutes, you get to finish your day and go on about your business. And then we have Rodrigo. I don't know, Lerman Fettuccino something Ferri. I don't know. Truck drivers. Truck driver was late for a delivery, so he asked his pet parrot for advice. The pet, let me read this without reading it out loud. Fly. The driver said, I can't fly. The parrot replied, with how fast you drive, you almost. All right. Okay, we got some trolls in here. Boom. What's up? Mike Hawk. What's up? What's up? JR. What's up? Prince. Goshen. I don't know. Two fine black gentlemen. Okay. Dude on the left has noodles on HEAS. Noodles on his head, I guess. He's looked like noodles to people. It's okay. We just met. It's hard to, you know, boom. So I look like I have noodles on my head to some people. It's okay. David, how are you? I'm on the west, and besides Star, I FAWK with no other show in New York because y'all diss my Uncle Pac. Oh, yeah, because I said bad stuff about Tupac.
Whoa. We don't talk
But
about
praise,
pop. Respect to.
yeah, that's a story for another day. That was years ago. He's talking about 5 years ago. I had
Gotcha.
something to say about Pac. You look like I look like a Lego piece, number 2550C. Do you know about Legos being classified in these numbers? 2550C, 10 Lego piece. That's what I look like. Then we have Shannon Come that says, "Let us have a philosophy debate on the corniest of moments." Wish we sipping on the finest Merlot. Whilst we sipping on the finest Merlot, somebody wants to have a debate, a philosophical debate on the corniest moments. Talking about earlier when you said Tyrese was full of so many corny moments. I see. I found a couple learned gentlemen. I guess they meant learned gentlemen. All right. Premium Black News. We got Muhammad over here, Sydney over here, Lion Zion. All right. Thank you for all the new people. Don't forget, be respectful in the chat. We don't want to necessarily block you, but stick to the topic, okay? So we're gonna jump to Cam Newton now. Cam Newton was on he did a podcast with this woman, some 42-year-old woman who is a life coach who's been to a couple of schools. That one school was accredited, then lost its accreditation. That's for her PhD. So she's considered a PhD. They talk about her master's degree, but I don't know if she ever finished it. Some online master's degree. And she created some sort of school where you and I can go to her school and get a certificate where we can become life coaches. And she's highly respected in that life coaching world. She's an adjustable 6. She's shows massive cleavage. Everything on her Instagram is cleavage city, cleavage. It's hard for me to take a woman serious that just sports so much cleavage all the time. And I wouldn't say she's giving big back energy, but she's giving big arm energy. But that's what happens when you're 42 years old, 43 years old. So Cam Newton is interviewing her, and she had a moment on the show, and I'm sure this moment will push her past the 15 that Andy Warhol said we're all entitled to. I actually like the way I just said that. That was kind of fire. So we're gonna wait for this commercial to go, and then we're gonna listen to it. It's like 4 minutes. We'll stop in between. Anytime you want me to stop, just say pause that. Okay? And I'll allow you to interject.
See my situation, and I think that I'm not high functioning. What situation? See my
And this is with
situation. That's a very
supposedly Dr. Bryant,
What
right?
situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high function? Just my life.
Yes, Dr. Bryant.
Your life entirely, or your life in relationship? My life. See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationships? Both, really. And they think that you're low functioning. No, I don't. You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning. No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this. Can I correct it? Yeah, go ahead. Or can I give you more? Yes, more information. Heck yeah. So I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children. How many? 8. I thought I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay. No, baby. Cool. It's by how many women? 3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now. By multiple women? What's the intent? I just want God by your wife. I just want God to bring them. Oh, okay. And you have, so you just. Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you would say it, Dr. Bryant, you said it. I didn't say it. I will agree. I'm just taking my time. Drinking and driving is a decision that could change whether you enter them to call. Taking your time. You're being very action-based. I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women. Yes. You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period.
This woman just said, I cannot wait to be a mom. She's 40-something years old, 42, 43, 44-year-old woman. You've waited to be a mom. What do you mean I can't wait to be a mom? At what point does this can't wait like show itself? Like I have an issue with this large arm woman talking about how she can't wait to have a child. We're gonna continue.
Kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in the...
Sorry, have to stop it again. Why do women find the need to baby men? I say this with love and all due respect. The streets got no love. You don't know me. You talking about you love me. Slow that down. Just say what you got to say. I'm sorry. I digress.
Wife, and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior to say that I am going to create these homes. Oh, let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of...
Is dissipate the right way to say that word? Dissipate my fears?
In the context that you were saying it, I have to hear more. I'm gonna be honest. I have to hear more.
All right. Dissipate my fears. You know, I know when something gets absorbed, like let's say you're painting something. That paint, when it dries, I believe it's dissipating. It absorbs it. Something to that. Anyway, let's continue.
Is not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody, spending your life with, and then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me what I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health wise, and community wise, that Black men would stop.
Black men will what?
Stop doing that, that they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and creating houses, not homes, and then finally a home with the wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless. But you over here, at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will. You'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish.
That was a good clip. I do want to watch the rest of the show when he does release the show. What say you about this big arm, beautiful woman?
I mean, I think there's a lot of truth in what she's saying. Growing up with no real with not a father in the house, you realize that you're getting one side, and it's true. It's like our for she's I totally agree with her. I mean, my thing is it's to me being a man is being disciplined, and when you have multiple kids, yes, you can financially take care of them, but what about emotionally? You can't be there all the time. It's
Right.
and you I think you do a disservice to a child, person, man, woman, whatever whatever kind of child you have, not being able to provide that guidance and that need. That means it's something that they have to pick up outside of the father. They don't get to see a father at home. They get to see a father when he can see them or chooses to see them, even if he's there at the most important times. Sometimes just being there at night is important. So
Right.
truthfully, it's like it is like it's undisciplined saying, "Hey, I want to have multiple kids." That's your want, but is it really benefiting the child, or is it benefiting your ego? So I'm kind of in agreement with her.
You agree that it's dysfunction.
Yes, it's a form of dysfunction,
Okay.
and
What
yeah,
about the
mhm.
what about when she says he's compartmentalizing that dysfunction? I thought the word was out of context. The compartmentalizing is more where you have a bunch of people doing something, and you give them these blinders, so to speak, where they're unable to see any peripheral of what's going on here. You only have all these blinders, and this compartmentalization of something is where you do your part, you do your thing, but you don't realize that there's this huge, bigger picture that's happening. So you're only fixing or doing or adding this thing to something, like let's say an assembly to a car. You're building a car, but yet you only are in charge of putting in the dashboard. So every car that comes by, you put in the dashboard. So they keep everyone compartmentalized so that there's no one really knows. Like not that no one really knows. I guess maybe the car analogy is not the greatest because you do know it's a car, but yet your job is compartmentalized. So I guess compartmentalized is not necessarily so nefarious. It could be just because they need to keep it structured, and this is your job, and it'll be easier to train somebody to put in a dashboard than it'd be easier for some than a company is going to take to have you learn how to build a whole car. So they keep everybody doing these one little things, and it adds to this greater thing. But go ahead. What were you
I think
thinking?
I think I got the context of what she meant was meaning that he's having these kids with these women, but he's not thinking about the bigger picture. He's when he's there with the woman and having kids, he's just thinking about that, not the other or previous mother he has with these other kids. So he's compartmentalizing, meaning that he's looking at one aspect and not the bigger picture. So it is
Right.
dysfunction. So in the context that she used it, I kind of understand. That's what I got from it. Is more of he's doing this kind of with blinders on. He's like, hey, I'm with this woman, I'm getting her pregnant. How does that affect or take time away from me and there's other women that I have pregnant? Because he said he has 8 kids by 3 different,
Right.
mothers,
Right.
So that means there's 3 different locations, unless he got them all together, which is a whole nother story.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Like to me, to solve all of this would be for them to be living in on some sort of compound together.
But I mean, I think who did that before? What's his name? The
David
boxer.
Koresh,
Yeah, but also the boxer, what's his name? That his ear bit off.
Holyfield.
Yes. Holyfield had bought a big, I think he bought somebody, yeah, he had a big compound made in Atlanta and he had all his wives there and kids there. And I mean, I don't know the rest of how successful it is, but I know,
I never heard that before. This is
yeah,
my first time ever hearing that.
I believe so. Let me verify, but I believe so.
Yeah. So while you're looking at that, I'll just say that I I would like all right, let's take me. I have three children. I have a 26 or 27-year-old. How old am I? I'm 50. So she should be 26 going on 27. And then I have my remix, which is the 11 and 13-year old.
Hmm.
If I could do it, I would have more children. That's a fact. The problem is I cannot afford to have more children. And I think having a bunch of kids is necessary because we're losing the population. The population is dropping tremendously. And it's like Elon Musk has 12 children by four women, or six women, or four women. I can't remember. Somebody said, stop the cap. I'm not lying. I would love to have more kids. Are you kidding me? I'm not capping in any way, shape, or form. I would I would have many more children. And I would put here's the thing though. I would make my let me just say this. The first child I wasn't around for the first child. The second and third child was around every single day of their life. And I'm here to tell you, it ain't all that it's cracked up to be that super involved in every moment. These kids can just come to you for anything. It's not. I think a family can exist without that much without that much connection. What say you?
I mean, I think they need connection, and I checked with I checked Holyfield had a 11 kids, and he made a hundred and what is it? Um, his house was 44,234 square feet. Um, yeah, he had a big house. I think it's like something a ridiculous amount of bedrooms, and he had all his women, his baby mothers living there with the kids, the 11 kids. And I think he paid $20 million for the house, but Rick Ross bought it off him for $5 million,
Right.
5.8.
Well, he never was good at managing money. That's a fact.
Yeah, but he actually was one of the few boxers that made probably the most money at one time.
And is it confirmed that there were several children's mothers there?
Not yet, but I mean, it says it has 109 rooms. They could have been hiding. 12 bedrooms and 21 bathrooms.
And this was before Instagram and Facebook. So,
Hmm.
you know, all his business wasn't out like that. Doesn't Akon have a situation with multiple wives and children?
But I think it's more with Akon. It's more of a cultural thing, and that's why I say it's kind of different. Um, when you come from that environment that he comes from and that religion he believes in, or let me rephrase it: when you come from different cultures, different religions, things are done differently. There's already setups. It's like Mormons. They live differently. It's a normal. They live around other Mormons a lot of times. That's the system and the regularity of it.
Uh, Would you be a person that would be into having more children?
I would be with a wife,
She would
but
have to
not.
be your wife.
Yes, it wouldn't be multiple children with different. I made that mistake.
Right. I have three children, two mothers of my children. One is my wife. But let me tell you, man, if I had a bunch of bread, I would have a bunch of kids. I'm
Mm.
serious. I would have 17 kids.
I mean, but again, it's that's finance. It's not the mental stability and everything else. You
Oh,
know.
it's 100% finance. If these women are gonna put me on child support, then I'm not having any more kids.
Mhm.
I would never want to have another child. Like, I would love to have a child with my wife, of course, but like, what if she's like, baby, come on, we got this money, let's. let's not even, like we ain't,
I
I
mean,
don't want, I don't know.
I don't know. It's just, to me, it's more of like, how does that benefit the child? Knowing my dad is be around when he's going to be around, not when I need him. My dad
Yeah,
is
but
there.
you're giving these children life and opportunity. You're
I
giving
mean,
these children, you're giving these children life.
you know, we
Without
give it.
you,
You're giving the kids life, but you're also just giving them finances. You're saying, I'm giving you the means to do whatever you want, but I'm not giving you. I could only provide a certain amount of guidance at very limited time.
yeah, but I just think with technology and the way things are, a man could have a few baby mothers. If they're not living together in the house, I think he can make the rounds. He gets it. It's all about the mother. If the mother's gonna be big upping the father, like your dad'll be here on Thursday, we're gonna have a great day, all these different things, it can be a positive situation. But I mean, if you got the mother talking bad about the father and talking about him like a dog, then of course you're gonna have this dysfunction and you're gonna have these horrible situations. But I personally think that it can work. I think we were meant to have many children. Look at your dad, how many kids he had. Let's look at our grandparents and their grandparents. They had nothing less than 8 kids. This,
Well,
I believe, is something that's inside of us men to want to have multiple children.
and again, I think a lot of it is ego. Unless then my thing is, my father has 22 kids.
Right.
Grandfather has 30 something. I'm one of 9 kids just in New York.
Right.
We all have the same issue. No one
Which
speaks
is,
together. Is we lack that parental. I mean, to me, it was just more of like, how do I be a man if I don't have a man around me?
so you
You,
say you suffered from him not being around.
of course, I suffered from not being, not having that person to kind of guide me, because that's what it really
Right.
is guidance. I didn't have a blueprint, so I had to take my examples from Bill Cosby. I got to watch the Cosby
Yeah.
Show. I got to watch Family Matters. I got to watch Hallmark movies.
And now you have Love and Hip Hop to watch. All those shows
Exactly.
don't exist anymore.
Exactly. So it's now, imagine even now is worse. They're so how do you really have guidance? Like, you have a daughter who don't have a father. She's sitting there twerking all the time. That's the new dance. Like
Hold
it's
on for 1 second.
mhm.
Some god Nika says, then have it with your wife. Why do you need multiple wives? Have 12 kids with your wife. 12 years, 12 children. Oh, of course. You could definitely have this with your wife. Let me see. It says something else. Shut up. You are giving them fatherless life. See, that's where I disagree. I disagree that if you have mothers that are going to big up that father and teach their children about how great their father is, and he'll be here from this day to this day, and you can spend these great quality times with these children. I don't think you need to be there like me. I've been here every day with these kids all their lives. My remix family, the first one, come on, that's how, I don't know if ever a nice word was ever said about me. This is why we're probably estranged. But as far as this family here, this person wants me to have 12 kids with this one woman. I'm not trying to wear this woman out like that. And then I am monogamous, but I don't believe in monogamy. You know what I mean? I'm a 50-year-old, 330-pound man who's not out there, you know, hitting the streets trying to get to know people. So, but if I was living a different lifestyle, I wouldn't want to put that burden on my wife. Would she be like this woman who's just can't deal? Oh, I can't deal with. I mean, he keeps having all these kids with these women. What about me? I don't know if I would suffer from that. I think that we need to stop villainizing these men who have the ability to have children until the day we die. Whereas women, and that woman with those huge arms, she's talking about she can't wait to have a kid. Boo boo, it's almost too late to have a kid.
I mean, but I think what two parents bring is balance. And it's not just for the kid, but it's also for the woman. It's like, they statistically, kids that are in single parents with women, black kids especially, are, I mean, it's astronomical. I think it's like 80% are more likely to be in jail or incarcerated compared to a black child being with their father. So it shows the
Right.
importance even in that thing of being there. So
Yeah,
even if
yeah,
a
yeah,
woman
yeah.
is saying your dad
That
is great, your dad's gonna be here from 9 o'clock to 10:30, that's 9 o'clock to 10:30. So what? He's the best man ever. Then and your daughter will sit there and say, that's what it's like for me, my guy. I need my man to be there from 9:30 to 10:30 and be great when he's there. He could go do whatever he else wants up, after that. He could, he doesn't have to be there. Your son will sit there and say, hey, yo, my dad, 10:30 to 3:30, and I earned up all right. He's the best thing. My mother said it, best thing ever. So as a man, that's what I gotta give a woman is 10:30 to 3 o'clock. Once every
well,
month, once every 2 weeks.
that's I think a huge misconception that children are going to just um children want more than what they're given. And you can create this need. Like I have a friend of mine's, and he says to me, he says, my son is a great father. And I was like, really? And I was like, what makes him great? Well, he says, well, he's better than me because I was never home. So because I was never home, he's so close with his wife and his kids. And I was like, well, why weren't you home? He says, oh man, it was the 80s. Rent was only $300 a month. I was at all the bars. He's like, he was making like $800 a week in the 80s, which was a lot of money. And he was spending $300 a month on rent. So he would give his wife the rent money, and he's bar hopping 5 days a week. And his son hated it so much that he became super close with his wife, his new wife, and his like three children. They're like inseparable. So the children are going to have a need. They're going to have a want. They're going to have a desire. They're not going to necessarily just do what dad did. But all I'm saying is that if the mother, like Nick Cannon's whole posse that he's creating, Nick,
Hmm.
Nick Cannon's creating this tribe, and these women are playing along. They are saying probably the most amazing things about the man, and they're normalizing this lifestyle. And I think when you do that, the children will be okay. I think Cam having 8 children by 3 different women, and maybe he might bring on another woman and have, 2 with her every. I just don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's something that certain men and certain on certain levels can handle. They can handle that. And then they could be there for their children. Maybe keep them certain months of the year, teach them how to be a man. I think that you don't. I just don't think you have to be there every day. Like me, I'm here every day, so I'm speaking from experience. I just don't think you need to be here every day to have a great family.
I mean, but it starts to function. Say the woman wants to get with someone else, so now there's another man in the house. It's that's under the premise of a woman just saying, "Okay, I'm not going to mess with anybody else. This is your father. This is it." I mean, we all need examples, and it's statistically makes sense when you see two parents in a household. It's you get to see example of how to be loved, what a loving relationship is. When you take that away, it's like you're looking at a loving relationship differently. Oh, he
Right,
doesn't have to be here. He doesn't have to do this. He doesn't, or he could be here part time.
right,
It's and again, I feel like again, a lot of it is ego. It's like, yes, I can financially afford it, but I can. It's like me buying a yacht. I could financially afford a yacht, but it's the worst. They said the best time is when you buy a yacht and when you sell it. It's the same thing.
mm.
Just because you could afford it, don't mean you got to do it.
Of
Again, that's
course, of course, of
to me
course.
again is being disciplined, and just
I,
like
I'm,
Soto
I'm
said
just
on here.
I'm just against. I'm sorry. I'm just against this woman talking about like, lady, you trying to have a kid and your back ain't gonna be into it. You're having a kid late in life, and then she wants a man that she's gonna have a child with not to have a child. Like, are you crazy? I just don't really care for this woman. This woman bothers me. Those arms bother me. Even though she is very attractive, she's not unattractive. But the long nails bother me, the arms bother me, and the fact that she's so old and hasn't had a family and wants to tell another man who is he's the outlier. He's the guy who can afford a bunch of kids and he can figure out a way to make this a hell of a team. Whereas,
Possibly, but then again, it's just like for him to do that, it takes a lot of money, and that means he has to continue working. I mean, it's like look at Holyfield, broke, you know,
well,
child support
Holyfield
payment.
could not manage. Holyfield's a bit of a bammer, respectfully. Holyfield, he was not good at managing money. There's no
But
reason why Holyfield shouldn't have 14, 15 to $25 million in just the stock market alone. How he doesn't have that? Come on, he could have rolled the S&P 500. He could have put $100,000 a year in the S&P 500 for the last 25, 30 years, and he would have, never have to worry ever again.
again, it's like he didn't have discipline with having kids. He didn't have discipline with money.
Right.
So again, discipline to me is very important. It's doing things. It's less about it. It feels good as a man to have a lot of kids. It's like, yo, these are my kids. It feels good to say. It feels good to look at when they're all around. But to actually put in the work, it's a lot to show these kids and guide these kids. You need time. Time, time is a lot. And if you're trying to pay for these bills and everything else, and for these kids, and give them that lifestyle, it's a lot. It takes a lot.
Wow.
My thing is
Well,
like
some, go
I
ahead.
always say quality out of quantity. So I'd rather have 4 good kids than 12 kids that may be all messed up. So I'd rather have 4 good kids that act right, smart, than 12 that's acting the fuck up. Excuse my language. You
Right. Let me just read this right here. Sun God Nika says, so your daughter should be just a baby mother. Then they say, OFC, you don't have to be there, but that doesn't mean you should not be there. OFC, single mother, takes care of kids perfectly, but you should have the mentality to not be there. I agree with that. And they said that they copied and pasted that 3 times. Let's just go back to Sun God Nika saying, so your daughter should be a baby mother. You see, I'm not into the baby mother, baby father thing because our society has we live in a business. America is a business. America is a capitalistic society that has figured out a way to make you pay the whole way. I always say we're living in a paradise. We turned it to a mall. We can charge the whole way. So we're living in a paradise that we turned into a mall, and you need a license. I just watched a video where the cops are like choking this kid out because he didn't have uh, um, like a pendant that goes on his wetsuit while he surfs. So if you want to go to the ocean and surf, you need a pendant that has to go onto your wetsuit so that we can say, oh, okay, you paid the proper amount. You got to pay for everything. This marriage thing, everybody I know that's been married, they all gotten divorced except for Lewis. Lewis and Nikita, they're the only people we know that at least I know that are married for over a decade, and they appear to be very, very happy.
know.
And uh, what I would like to say is that what am I saying? What am I saying? I got thrown off by
You
the
said it's a
whole.
business. You said it was a business.
Yeah, this is a business. They want you to sign these paperwork so that you can have these bullcrap tax breaks, and it's all BS. It's all BS. The best thing to do is commit to someone, do like a ceremony, love on them, spend your life with them. But there's no reason, there's no incentive to marry a woman. So if my daughter, right, my daughter meets somebody, I do want her to be a wife, but she don't have to sign a bunch of papers to be a wife. She just needs to, like she needs to be with somebody who's like she needs to be with somebody that's going to provide her with the lifestyle necessary for whatever her mind frame is at that time. Like I'm raising her. She's almost 6 foot tall at 11 years old. She has a size 13.5 shoe. My daughter is an athlete. She runs every day 2 miles a day, her and her brother. And when I tell her all the time, like I told her, if you were to get into volleyball, you don't get into volleyball so that you can live this fabulous lifestyle and get all these Spalding sponsors, because the Spalding sponsor is going to probably just help you pay for your car note. So you become a volleyball player because she's potentially going to be 6'4". You become a volleyball player so that you can find you a husband. The people that are there, the fans that are there, are going to be the ones you're going to be able to choose from. And are you looking for the guy who's going to be able to provide you with the means? Like if you're hanging out in the projects, you're going to get you a project kid. But if you're hanging out on the sidelines of, let's say, where because I want her in tennis. Because like, yeah, she can get to the. I want her to know how to play basketball, dribble the ball, shoot the ball. But I'm not in any rush to get my daughter to play for somebody making 50, 60, $70,000 a year. I would much rather her do tennis where she can make $1 million a year. And then we have volleyballs, like at the very low end of it, where it's like about 50, $60,000 a year, as an athlete. But while she's there, she's not going to meet her baby father. She's going to meet the man that she's going to love, and he's going to love her, and they're going to have a great, amazing relationship. And that might not require them walking down the aisle, so to speak.
Well,
It's just a lie. That walking down the aisle is a lie.
the whole thing of walking down the aisle is to kind of show everyone and people that this is the person you choose. One, it makes it less likely for you to act up because, well, at least before it was like everyone kind of knew. It was like you putting out an ad in the paper saying, "I'm taken by this person. Me and this person are together." But also, marriage is a business, as you said. My thing is, you can have someone treat you great and everything else. Say, for example, I'm with a woman and I treat her great. I give her everything she wants. She's happy. We happy. I die.
Right.
My mama and everybody else can come get everything that I had because we didn't have.
No.
No, no, hold
No,
on.
you're gonna have a trust set up. You're gonna have
But
a
that's what I'm
trust
saying.
set
But
up. You're gonna have a will
guess
set
what?
up.
Guess what makes it even easier? That when it's your wife, it's just done deal. There's no one. It's legally like you're securing the bag. Like there's no question. There's no debate. There's no trust dispute. That's my wife. This is who it goes to. Even when we think about it, like, oh, the money's gonna go to his wife on his kids, not his mama, not his cousin, not his not his grandma, not his aunt. It's going to the wife. It's going to the husband. Marriage is a business deal. It's a partnership. It's saying we're doing life together, but we're also doing finances together. This is the woman who is in charge of everything. She's in charge
Right.
of how our kids are raised. There's going to be no question. This is securing it. This is the will and testament.
Mm.
So to me, that's what it is. It's more of I'm getting married because, God forbid, somebody else wants like it's a done deal. This woman gets it all.
Can I say this?
Hmm.
This is coming from you, sir, the bachelor. I think it's called the consummate bachelor. But yet you're talking all this marriage talk. How many relationships have you been in while I've been in one? Are you frozen? I think you froze up, my friend. Do you guys like the Blackhawks? Sir, stay on topic, GMI. Stop asking to checking the 2 times. Stay on topic, girls. You're going to get in trouble here. I'm amazed to see Black One being responsible for kids. It's Big 24, baby. I don't know what that means. That was from Sun God Nika. I don't know what's going on with the stream, but Daniel B's off the stream. I don't know what happened. These things happen. Technology is funny stuff like that. But it was so great having him on the show today. China and India have 1+ billion each people without having baby mama issues. Please stop acting like you know about what's going on in India. India is not a place that is this perfect dynamic of marriage. And then the parents that hook up their children with suitable, what's the word? With, you know how they have these arranged marriages and stuff, they're not all perfect. You know, this is you're speaking on things you're not 100%. And I say that respectfully. All right. TC Junior, hello. Free YB. I don't even know what that means. LJ, thank you for regulating the chat. I think we've seen enough of everyone here. It was so great having Daniel B on the show. I'm Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg, and I love you. And I thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Do me a favor, tap the like button, tap the screen 2 times. Bing, bing. Hit the screen twice. Bing, bing. That's the thumbs up. You are appreciated. And I will talk to you soon.